Today we're doing something completely different. We're going to take the English League system, the Premier League and the EFL, and we're going to flip it on its head. So we're going to put League 2 teams in the Premier League teams in League 2, and see what chaos it causes over a 10-year span. Let's have a look what happened, shall we? Hello and welcome back to Anderzbaz FM, and today we're flipping England. We're taking League 2, we're putting it at the top, we're taking the Premier League, we're putting it at the bottom, and we're seeing what happens over 10 years and see who can win the Premier League for the first few seasons before the big clubs return once again. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, watch along on this video, and also don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and you won't miss any future content here on the channel. We've got a fantastic Let's Play series with Blackburn Rovers, which I'll link up here. It's called Elevating Ewood. We're basically taking Blackburn from the Championship back into the Premier League with hopes of winning the Premier League title. And you can join that story along if you hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a big thumbs up as well. And let me know your thoughts on this experiment today and what you'd like to see in the future if we do any more of these sorts of videos. Right, if that's all the housekeeping out of the way, I think we should get into the episode. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the beginning of Season 1, just sort of give a bit of an overview of what we've done in the database. We'll simulate Season 1. We'll have a look who wins the Premier League out of the League 2 clubs that are down there. And then we'll jump forward to the end of Season 5, do the same thing again, have a look what's happening, and jump forward to the end of Season 10. And by then, we shall see, basically, what's happened in England once it's been turned on its head. So let's go straight into it, shall we? Okay then, so let's have a look at the save then, shall we? We've made some changes into the editor, and here we go with the beginning of the Premier League. You'll notice all 20 clubs are actually League 2 clubs. We've got Salford, who are the odds-on favourite, all the way down to Scunthorpe, who are expected to get relegated. We've got Salford, Leyton Orient, Forest Green, Tranmere, Exeter, all of the usual League 2 suspects at the top. And we shall see who can win the Premier League. Now the door is wide open. Plenty of clubs down at the bottom as well. We've got lots of things happening. So in the Championship, obviously we'll have a couple of League 2 sides and then another 20 League 1 sides. So the favourite going in is Ipswich. Then we've got Charlton, Portsmouth, Wigan. You know, the sort of teams you'd expect to be challenging up near the top of League 1 are going to be top Championship clubs in this season. And you can see down here Rochdale, the likes of Rochdale, Northampton, Cambridge, etc. in the relegation spots. League 1 is going to be made up predominantly of Championship teams. Bournemouth are the favourites with Reading, QPR, Forest at the top there. Blackburn in 7th. I'll be keeping an eye on them. You've also got the likes of Hull, Blackpool, Peterborough and Sunderland, who got promoted into the Championship from League 1 but stay in League 1 given the the new format we've got here. And if we look at League 2, this is the 20 Premier League teams, plus the 3 relegated teams from last season, plus whoever finished 4th. I can't remember who it was. The 4th team in the Championship, the ones who missed out in the playoff final. So we've got Swansea, that's who it is. Swansea, West Brom, Sheffield United, Fulham at the bottom. Man City, obviously, expected to win League 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into Europe and have a look at competition reputations, coefficients, qualifying places, that sort of thing. So if you can see at the moment, the Premier League is the most highly rated competition in Europe. The Championship is down in 20th. We'll see how this will develop over time. And if we have a look at the coefficients, no, we don't want club coefficients, do we? Let's jump back to nation coefficient. That's the one we want. Man City are obviously the top English team there, but we want the... this is the ranking, so England are 4th overall currently. But anyway, this is the club coefficients for the nations. So England is currently at the top, quite a bit ahead of Spain, and then a massive drop down to Italy and Germany. We'll see how that develops as we go forward in the save, and we'll see what happens once the Premier League is now full of League 2 clubs. Let's jump forward now, shall we, until the end of this season and see what happens. Okay then, let's have a look at what happens as we get to the end of the first season. And as you can see, the Premier League has been won by Walsall. That is a turn up for the Bucks. They were predicted to finish about 7th or 8th, I believe. Salford finished 2nd. 2 points the gap at the top in the end. Leyton Orient, Bradford, Colchester and Sutton United all get European football. Can you believe it? That's going to have a massive impact on the coefficient, I'm sure. Harrogate down, Stevenage down, Scunthorpe down as well. Harrogate cut adrift at the bottom, but it's Walsall who take the honours in this first season. And let's have a look at the Championship. We're going to have a look at the league table. Once we get there, here we go. Wigan promoted as champions just ahead of Portsmouth. Charlton winning the playoffs and going up. Burton missing out in the end, so Northampton, Swindon, Rochdale down. Forest have won the playoffs in League One to go up with champions Luton and Reading. QPR, Huddersfield, Barnsley and Preston getting the unenviable task of being relegated into League Two, which, unsurprisingly, I'm going to say, was won by either Manchester City, Manchester United or Liverpool. It was Man City, big shock. Comfortable 10-point victory over Liverpool. Man United in third, Chelsea up through the playoffs. Swansea and West Brom going into the Vanarama National. I can imagine that it's not going to take many seasons for Man City, Liverpool, Man United and probably Chelsea as well to get themselves all the way back into the Premier League. So when we come back after 5 seasons, I imagine quite a few of those teams, if not all 4, in fact, all 4 is not possible, is it? So at least 3 of them will be in the Premier League. If we scoot through now to the FA Cup, Liverpool secure some European football by winning the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup as well. So that is doubling down on their chances to get some European football for them. And the only other chances for the League Two sides, the former Premier League sides that is to win a Champions League or Europa League or Conference League. So none of them have won the Champions League. Inter have won that. Man United got to the final but got defeated by Barcelona. And if we go to the Conference League, it was Marseille who won that. So no extra League Two sides or future League One sides are going to get European football going forward. If we have a look then at the Premier League, it's Walsall, you'll remember, who have taken the league title. Now, what we're going to do from here is we're going to jump forward to the end of Season 5. We're going to simulate another 4 seasons, and we'll see who is in the Premier League, who's won the Premier League, whether it's newly promoted sides from the Championship have won it next season, how long it takes the likes of Manchester City, Liverpool and Man United to get back into the top flight of English football. Okay then, the simulation has been running, and here we go. We can see, after Season 5, Manchester City have won the Premier League for the last 2 seasons. Well, that's boring, isn't it? Walsall won the first season, you'll remember. Charlton, who got promoted, also won in their next season, as did Reading the season after that. And then Man City was straight back up and straight back in the winning seat. The Premier League's dropped down to second, you'll have seen on the previous screen. But Man City went completely undefeated. Only dropped 4 games. They were draws, obviously, in the whole season. Oldham still in the European places. Arsenal, Chelsea are up there with Liverpool as well. Any other Premier League sides? Not that I can see just yet. We'll have a look through each season one by one then. So Walsall won. Charlton, Portsmouth, Wigan. Obviously, I think they were the 3 teams that came up. They took the top spots. Walsall dropped to 6th. Salford out to 9th. Leyton Orient and Carlisle doing quite well, getting European football. Reading came in and won the league straight away then as well. Charlton finishing 2nd, doing well as well. Salford and Walsall 7th and 8th. But then the big boys came in. So Man City, Man United and Liverpool all came in. Charlton were the best of the rest, still in the Champions League. Portsmouth, Luton, Reading just missing out on European football. And we've got quite a few good sides, League Two sides that is. So Salford and Walsall I'm going to keep an eye on. Salford got relegated this past season. That is unfortunate for them. But Man City did a back-to-back. 106 points is massive. Let's have a look at what's been happening in the Championship. Forest have won the playoffs. I'm sure we saw Forest win some playoffs last time around as well. Newcastle going up as champions this season. Right, Wigan won the first year. Charlton obviously getting promoted through the playoffs and then winning the Premier League. Reading won the next year and then won the Premier League back-to-back. That's not something that happens much these days. There we go. Man City, Man United, Liverpool absolutely smashed it. 129, 125 points. Chelsea then got the next year with 126, going up with Arsenal. Tottenham missing out on promotion after losing, I'm guessing, to Ipswich. Tottenham missed out again. Newcastle taking the title in Season 5 ahead of West Ham, Forest getting promoted. Tottenham once again missing out in the playoffs. Unfortunate for them. Let's have a quick look at Forest and their overview over the last few seasons. So obviously they got promoted in the playoffs from League One in the first season, and then have been right up there in the playoff spots ever since. Unfortunately for them, it's taken them 4 attempts to get themselves back into the Premier League. Right, down to League One. Bournemouth, the playoff winners. Wolves taking the league title ahead of Leicester. But if we have a look, Luton with a first time out. Reading taking second before their back-to-back Championship and Premier League victories. Man City once again winning a league, absolutely smashing things. Arsenal winning it the year after. Spurs actually winning a playoffs at that time around. And then Newcastle, Southampton, West Ham all going up, and Newcastle and West Ham at least going up again into the Premier League. Wolves, Leicester, Bournemouth. So the Premier League teams are all filtering their way up into the Championship and eventually the Premier League. Blackburn finishing 5th in the most recent season of League One. Right, here we are into League Two. And things are looking unsurprising there. Man City taking the first title. Arsenal the year after ahead of Newcastle, Spurs, Brighton winning the playoffs. Leicester getting European football in that season. Then we move on to Season 3. Leeds taking the title ahead of Southampton. West Ham and Leicester going up as well. You're not surprising really that any team coming up from the Vanarama National is getting thumped and going straight back down. Burnley winning League 2 in the 24-25 season. With Wolves, who won the League One the season after. Everton and Fulham going up. Brentford taking the most recent title ahead of Villa, Norwich and West Brom. Right then, Watford 5th. Plenty of Premier League teams still here. Crystal Palace, and I think that might be it actually. So a few Premier League teams still in League 2. We shall see if there are any down here after 10 seasons, but first we need to have a look elsewhere. Right, so the FA Cup, a quick look over the past winners. Liverpool taking the first title, Leicester, Man United, Fulham, interestingly, and Man City all securing European football. Carabao Cup, pretty similar sort of winners as usual, really. Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City and Chelsea. Charity Shield is not interesting. Unsurprisingly, Walsall, Charlton, Reading didn't win. Big shocker right there. So I think we need to look in Europe now and see what's been happening over in the on the continent. So the Champions League, it looks like Man City have lost the final this time around. We've got Inter going back-to-back, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich and Juventus all taking a crown. Inter beating PSG in the final twice. Man City, the first English team back into the UEFA Champions League final for 5 years. Chelsea have won a Europa League, however, and Man United getting to the final in that first season. Roma, the most recent champions. And the Conference League, Chelsea once again have taken that. Man City lost in another final right there to double winners Marseille. Right. That is the European competitions. How about the coefficient? What's happening on that front? We don't need the club coefficient. We'll have a quick look at the club coefficient. So no English teams down until Chelsea in 9th. Reputation-wise, England has fallen to 2nd a few seasons ago, but it's still quite strong on a par with Spain. Coefficients, it's obviously dropped off quite considerably. 22-23 season is where the impact was really felt. And it's slowly ticking back up once the big clubs have come back into things. But they're down in 4th and looking like we're going to drop outside of the top 4, outside of the top 5. In fact, will they be 6th or 5th? I think they'll be just ahead of Portugal, actually. So that will mean qualification places change. They're no longer 4 in the group stages of the Champions League. It'll be 2 and then 1 in the qualifiers. But still with the 2 in the Europa League and 1 in the Conference League. So that's going to have another knock-on effect. It's going to be like the early 90s when English football did not give that many European spaces because of a few-year ban, if you remember back in the end of the 80s. We'll have a quick look at the League 2 side who caught our eye and see whether they did anything in Europe. So Walsall is our first port of call. I don't think they'll have done much in the Champions League if we have a look. Just the one campaign, the 22-23 season, where they finished 4th in the group. If we flick all the way back, they got 1 goal against Monaco. conceded 19, crashed straight out. Unsurprisingly, they've not made it anywhere else in Europe either. So we'll have a quick look at Salford as well. They've obviously just got relegated in Season 5, but we'll see if they did anything in Europe whilst they had the chance. Once again, just one Champions League appearance. I don't think they made any other appearances anywhere else. No. So if we flick back to, there we go, 18 conceded, none scored. Tough group of Barcelona, Sporting and Shakhtar, so no real surprise that they didn't do any sort of impact whatsoever in Europe. Anyone else we should look at? Maybe have a look at Charlton. They'll have had a couple of campaigns in Europe, I believe. They've, in fact, 3 campaigns in the Champions League. Let's have a look whether they did anything. I don't think they did. 4th in all 3 years in their group, so probably not worth even going any further. They are rich now, though, so maybe they can put some sort of effort into keeping themselves up in the European places if they get a chance. Reading 4th in their Champions League group. It's not looking good, is it, for English football with these sides at the top in terms of their European impact. Right, anyone else we can look at? I don't think we can really see anyone else getting anywhere in Europe. Maybe have a look at Portsmouth. In fact, yeah, Portsmouth and Luton have had a couple of seasons in Europe, so we'll have a look at them. Portsmouth have had 2 attempts in the Champions League, 4th in the groups. Europa League, they got to the second knockout round in the 25-26 season before losing to Atletico Madrid. And if we have a quick look at Luton, they've had a couple of campaigns in Europe as well. They only got to the Champions League and the Conference League, 4th in their Champions League group. And the Conference League, they got to the quarter-finals in the 25-26 season, this season just gone, losing to Belgian side Charleroi. There we go. So they didn't make it to the Final 4. But a good effort for Luton Town to make it to the last 8 of the Conference League. Right, I don't know if there's much else to look at here in Season 5. If we skip back forward to the season that's just finished, here we go, the current season. Man City, once again, winning 2 seasons in a row since they've got back into the big time. Man United finishing 2nd in both of them. It's just returned to the status quo that we left it as. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump forward another 5 seasons, see how the Premier League fares reputation-wise, see if Man City win them all, see if anyone else can make an imprint, and see basically if we've got any League 2 sides still in the Premier League or any Premier League sides still in League 2. That's basically what we're going to look at the end of Season 10. Okay then, let's have a look at the end of the 10-season simulation then, shall we? And see who's been winning the Premier League. It's been Manchester City. Every single season since they returned to the top flight, Man City have won the Premier League title. That is depressing. 7 seasons back to back, and they're absolutely dominant as well. 21 points clear. Oldham, Wigan, Colchester have gone down. Oldham look like... Yeah, so Oldham are the last of the League 2 sides. If we have a quick look at their history here. So yeah, League 2 into the Premier League in 21-20. And just... They've been down already. And they've gone down again. Colchester as well, leaving the Premier League. Maybe for the last time a League 2 side is there. We have a look. They spent quite a few years in the Championship as well, actually, so maybe there is hope for them yet. But plenty of League 2 sides have now been relegated. And the Premier League is looking a lot like the Premier League once again. Plenty of Championship sides in there as well, but it's been Manchester. It's been all Manchester. Man City winning every title, only one where Man United haven't finished second. Quick flick down into the Championship as well. MK Dons, the most recent winners. Plenty of Championship sides, League 1 sides, a few League 2 sides. It's all mixed in the Championship now. Forest, recent winners. Salford getting a Championship trophy in the end there as well. So they spent a few years in the Premier League, won the Championship in 27-28, but they're back down now and missing out on promotion once again, losing to Fulham in the playoffs. Walsall also look like they've lost. No, they lost to Tranmere in the playoffs. But again, in the Premier League for several seasons, obviously the inaugural winners in this simulation. Got 2nd in the Championship and 3rd in the Championship again this season, but not getting promoted once again. Back to the big time. League 1, we'll have a quick flick down as well and look at the Everton, the most recent winners. with Sheffield United second and AFC Wimbledon in fourth. Derby have taken a League One title in the past. Plenty of Premier League teams in there. Villa going back down into League Two. Looking at League Two, in fact, Chesterfield up in the playoffs. Huddersfield, the title winners. Any Premier League sides? We look, QPR are Burnley. Burnley are back in League Two, in the mires of League Two, 15th place. If we have a look at their history, it is not a pretty sight. League history here. From League Two, a couple of seasons, 3 seasons in League One, back to League Two. They've won League Two twice, but they are back in the middle of mid-table. They've got no facilities anymore. All their stats are poor. Right, so that's League Two as it finished. Any Premier League sides in the National League? I'm not expecting there to be any, to be honest. And yeah, looking at that, there aren't any. Blackpool are the biggest side I can see in the Vanarama National. Right. Let's have a look who's been winning the FA Cup. So there we go. Man City and Man United winning all of the trophies. That's quite boring to look at. Carabao Cup's going to be similar. It's all Man City. Once again, they have been the dominant force of English football since returning back to the Premier League. Their spell in the lower leagues did not do them any harm whatsoever. Man United getting to the final of the Champions League, but Man City winning it in 26-27 after being runners-up the previous season. Man United runners-up twice. Man City runners-up once again. Europa League's been won by Liverpool, and Chelsea have done it twice as well over the course of this save. Newcastle getting to the final this year. West Ham and Chelsea twice again. So Chelsea have done quite well in Europe, but West Ham are the most recent winners of the Conference League. And if we have a look at the club coefficients, England are going to be back at number 1 for next season. They're up to 3rd this season. They've been strong. Ever since the big clubs have got back into Europe, they have been strong. So they're going to be bumped back up to the 1st position in the list, keeping the same qualifying numbers here. So England are down 5th overall in the world. So that's dropped from 4th at the beginning of the save. And the Premier League is down to 4 stars and 3rd in the reputation list. So it's not really had that much of an impact on them. So they dropped down to 3rd in the 26-27 campaign. I'm sure they'll be back up to 1st with Man City absolutely dominant now. A quick look over the recent seasons, and it's all Manchester City. They have had an impressive run since returning to the top flight. If we keep looking like that, that's crazy. Wigan in the European places, Oldham up there as well. I've seen Charlton and Portsmouth, Luton. That's the season we've looked at already. If we flick forward again, so Charlton and Portsmouth up there, they missed out on European football that season. Portsmouth did get into the Conference League then, as the coefficient dropped a little bit. And then by the time Charlton actually in the Europa League this last season and just missing out on European football once again. So Charlton are now a big club, a big Premier League side, as are Portsmouth and Luton. They're the 3 sides who have really impressed over this 10-year simulation. I think that might be where we're going to draw the line because Man City have been dominant, and that's not the nicest thing to look at. So I hope you've enjoyed this quick 10-year simulation of flipping England, where we put the Premier League right at the bottom of the pyramid with League Two at the top, and taken, well, barely any time whatsoever for the big clubs to rise back to the top. The reputation and the money involved with the sides of their calibre has just prevented them from staying down in the doldrums for very long whatsoever. And since Man City have got up, they've won 7 back-to-back titles, which is incredible. I don't know whether they would have done that in a regular save with other big clubs also having their spending power and European football at their disposal. Right then, if you've enjoyed today's video, you know what to do. You've got to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and watch some other content here on the channel. It's been great having you today. I'll see you again next time. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Well, hey, you've made it to the end of the video, and hang on, it's a subscribe button. Tap on this. Even if you've done it already, just try it, see what happens. And then if you're hanging around, have a look at these. One of these. Check out some of this amazing content. You won't regret it. I'll see you next time.